What's going on, everybody? Today we are doing something a little bit different. I've been doing a Let's Play series on YouTube, and I think we're up to episode 5, but today I wanted to go over 5 different types of roads that we could use for future builds, or maybe something that you guys could get some inspiration from as well, or if you have any suggestions too. So far today we have this Oriental style road, and the theme we have used the stripped oak wood and hit them against different blocks so you can get a different checkered pattern sort of on the floor. Nothing major. I haven't done it. I haven't overdone it. And this would essentially just be like an orientally type theme leading to some, ignore that over there, some kind of base over this way. This is our first road, or path, sorry. I keep saying road. I don't mean road. I mean path. I think paths are basically key in everything that you do, because you want to be able to link up your builds properly. Sorry, give me 1 second. I need to turn this music down again. The amount of times I've had to turn this down is absolutely insane. It's still too loud. 1 second. Let's change that. Do you know what? Let's overkill it. Yeah, okay, there we go. I can hardly hear myself think sometimes. If you guys have watched my Let's Play, I've changed my volume down so many times, and every time it's too loud. Okay, yeah, I think paths are super important, okay? I'm only going to do like a little idea of what it would look like, okay? I'm not going to show you what an entire build would look like, because that would take a very long time, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on each type of build. Clearly, you can tell I've gone for Oriental theme here. There are many different outcomes I could do here. I don't have to use lanterns. I don't have to use the glass, but I think in daytime, it could be pretty cool to have that sort of thing going on. Maybe I could even do soul lanterns. Soul lanterns down here. Might even, sorry, not soul lanterns, sea lanterns. Silly boy. Maybe you could go for something like this so that you could then remove lanterns, or maybe you want to keep the lanterns for that aesthetic. But yeah, you get the idea. It works. It starts to come together quite nicely. And I think roads are super duper important. I keep saying roads. Paths are super duper important to link your builds together, especially if you're like me, where you like to make a larger area your own. Roads are awesome. Ignore everything that you see from here on, because obviously I'm just building the path. Ignore the background, ignore the scenery, ignore the grass blocks next to it. I know that's quite difficult, but if you try and visualize what it would look like if you're following this theme, I think they're really cool. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is going to be a more basic type of path. Alrighty, so for the next one, we've gone for a much more simple build, as you can see by my palette down here. This is the sort of build that you would see, a path that you would see in a much more basic essence. This is what I've gone for. So this is what I would suggest would be your this is more roady, right? But it's still a path because we don't have cars, so it's not a road. But essentially, this is what I'm thinking would be another nice idea to link builds together. Now, this would be a slightly more modern builds, maybe, or maybe slightly abstract. It depends how you build. There are some builders out there, which I'm sure we all know, can basically put anything together. If I said to somebody, put this together here and make it a road that fits into any sort of town, they'd make it work, right? But that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to give you ideas and inspiration to do your own roads or paths or whatever. Not roads. So, hopefully you guys kind of like this. This is just another idea of another path. I like it. This is obviously a lot more themed and a lot more complex. It's not very complex, but a lot more complex than that. This is also using andesite and polished stone. So the resources for this is very, very easy to do in survival Minecraft. And of course, as we all know, doing stuff in survival Minecraft is good. So you've always got to worry about the resources you've got to grab in order to make it. So I hope you guys like this one. We're going to move on to the third road, or jeez, third path now. Let's do the third path now. Okay, so we've got our third path in place. As you can see by the what's behind me, we've gone for a completely different theme. We've gone for a cherry wood. This is all cherry wood inspired, okay? So we've got a little sign here that says Cherry Grove Gardens. Think that could be pretty cool to take you into like a large garden. That could be really cool. I like the road or the path. I really do like it. Of course, you can walk through this sign so it doesn't actually block anything. It's very easy to build. I don't know if you guys have ever gone to get cherry grove before, but the saplings drop like crazy. You know, you can get the leaves from shears and stuff. This is all made out of cherry wood. So this cherry, oh, just put that back. Cherry grove gardens. I keep forgetting I'm in survival. But yeah, I like this. Now imagine obviously you'd be repeating this as you go. So you could maybe leave one blank, one tree, one blank, one tree, what have you. Let's just weather set. Oh, weather clear. I don't know all the commands for Minecraft. I'm not used to creative and stuff. Let's get rid of the rain. Okay, yeah, I like this a lot. I think it looks really cool. You know, I've also done a bit of styling pattern like we did on the first Oriental one over there. Much less noticeable, but you can still see it. You know, these ones are horizontal, these ones are vertical on the thing. But I think this looks really cool. You take the inspiration as far as you want to go. You could make this into anything you wanted to, right? But this is just inspiration. And also I've tried to make this one slightly more realistic in the sense of that you wouldn't need anything fancy to make it happen. Of course, you could change this wood out, but you almost get enough color variation in the cherry grove on its own. You know, you've got these dark spots from the actual logs. You've got the leaves that have some greenery on them. The particles sell it massively as well. Imagine a full pathway of these just sort of raining over your head. That's pretty cool. And also the light from the stairs and the top of the actual logs. I think it looks really cool. So that's 3 out of 5. That's our Oriental type theme. I like this one quite a bit. Obviously, the lanterns were added in. You guys saw that live on camera. Lanterns, optional, up to you. Glass, optional. This is just inspirational. Basic path, but very easy to make in resource type. And again, this one's one longer because I wanted some symmetry, whereby this was dead center. But again, completely different. Okay, let's move on to our 4th path. Okay, so for our 4th path, we have gone for a warped root, warped wood sort of thing with some prismarine mixed in, some sea lanterns, and some warped trapdoors. This again, pretty basic looking, but again, I feel like it really fits a theme. The prismarine actually works much nicer than I thought it was going to because of all the different shades of warped that you get. You've got this sort of, you know, whirring pattern on all the logs that would outline the path. The sea lanterns would keep it lit. Again, lighting would be entirely optional, whether you want it to be lit or not. Plenty of things are not. You could easily have an overhang, maybe with the warped, with some lanterns or some lanterns on chains or whatever it may be. I think this is pretty cool. For our 5th and final path, these are our 4 so far, which I'm really happy with. Actually, I'm definitely going to use some of these and some of the builds on survival when it comes to it. We're going to go for something a little different from what we've done so far, but I am happy with the 4 that we've got. I'll be back with you in a second with our final pathway. Alrighty guys, so for the final path, I have decided to go for something that would sort of be a little bit abstract and even maybe go underneath buildings or properties or anything inside your build. I think this looks really, really cool. So of course, as you can see, we've added some mossy stone in there as well as the normal. We had to use cobbled slabs to make these stairs. You can't get a slab version of the cracked stone bricks, which makes sense, I suppose, because they're cracked already. The chances of you being able to perfectly form a slab out of a cracked brick is unlikely. But yeah, as you can see, you can mix and match as much of this stuff in as you want, whatever sort of fits your theme. You could even go, if you had more space, obviously this is just demonstrational for you guys, but if you had more space, maybe you could have things like moss, actual moss. I feel like the change would be too drastic. I haven't tried it actually, but I feel like the change would be a little bit too drastic for my liking. Yeah, it's a bit too drastic for me to go straight into that from stone. But if you had a long enough path, you could probably transition. One of the beautiful things in Minecraft is if you've got the space, you can probably transfer exactly what it is you want to do. So this is my final and 5th pathway, as you can see. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. The lighting in here, completely up to you. Usually you would probably have an overhang on this, obviously, because it's going underneath something, right? So if you had a structure that it was this was going underneath a structure that you had built, you'd want a light source, clearly. But I mean, you could use something maybe like shroom lights or something. Would that fit the theme? That was my intention, my idea. It's up to you guys. It's entirely optional. But here you have our 5 pathways. So we've got one that would go underneath the structure. We've got a warp stem with some sea lanterns. This could well be one of my favorites, as it's like all the same block. Cherry Grove Gardens, that would lead into somewhere. I think this is really cool. The particles really make this come alive. A basic pathway, anything you could do on this, you could do anything you wanted to. Lighting wise, I haven't added any lighting because there are so many options for lighting with this. You could do anything. You could take a slab out, whatever you wanted, right? And this, again, I'm not sold on the sea lanterns. Those were added last minute. Let's go back to how it was before I added those. But I think they look really cool. I think these look really, really cool. All 5 of these pathways would be something I personally would certainly use in builds, because it would interlink everything that I wanted it to link in with. I mean, even these, you know, if you feel like mixing this up and just changing these just to the, oh, sorry, my apologies. If you change these up and went for these instead, maybe you prefer that. Maybe you prefer the slim feel that goes up into them. Yeah, looks good too. Entirely up to you guys. But I think this is really, really cool. These are my 5 pathways that I think that you should take inspiration from. You don't have to take them directly, but take inspiration from them and think about how you want to interlink the builds that you're making and the buildings that you're making, and interlink them. And I think pathways that are imaginative, creative, and different will help you get there. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next episode.